Now we have Anirudh. He's the head boy of Manaskriti School, which is a leading school in Faridabad. And he's also the president of Rotary Club. Yes, hi, Anirudh. Over to your questions, please. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening, Anjali ma'am and sir. I wanted to first say thank you for your service and all you've done for our country. I wrote several questions, but my very most important question would be, what advice would you like to give to youngsters like myself who wish to follow in your honorable footsteps and join the military or the army? What advice would you like to give to them? Since we belong to such different generations, I would like to know what your words of advice would be.
Your advice to youngsters like him.
Look, my book is not only about the individual valor, courage, and their fortitude. It is also about leadership, where the young generation starts at any level, in any walk of life. It is not applicable to military. My experiences are not really applicable to the military alone. Corporate sector, any other sector. This is the lessons for leadership, which are in a much more intense manner. And I think my advice to the new generation is learn from the various incidents which are live. Learn out of that how people function properly or messed it up also. Lessons are either way you can take it out. And but I think we are not lacking any courage individually when there is facing the danger. But what you require is a courage morally to take a decision, to follow it up, own it up, accept all the responsibilities, accept laurels if you succeed, accept kickbacks also if you fail. That is a leadership, I think, my lesson which I'm trying to put across. I think that is more important for people. And that is all, unless there's something else which you really want me to explain.
Yes, Anirudh, any more questions? Can you please unmute yourself? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And your book was very inspirational. I found that too. Yeah. But I meant specifically for the students or young children who would like to join the military. What are things they should know before ahead of time? Like, are there any things we can prepare ourselves to know about?
If they want to join the military, then what?
You see, presently, I think for a youngster, there are so many options as a career. For a career. In our time, they were very limited. So we thought what was exciting for us, we opted for it. Presently, I don't know what excites the young people. I'm not, my daughter is more in contact with the younger generation and what their aspirations are. Our aspiration, we felt we were the God's own when we joined the army, the academy, and we came out as officer, because it was something we aspired, we got it. And we made it as our life and our total life. Presently, I think young people have got a very different minds. I appreciate that. My own son has not joined the army because he was a national talent scholar. He had a different set of ideas. He wanted to join infantry, my regiment. But I said, son, you're a national talent scholar. Now are you going to join an infantry soldier? Not that it is you don't want talented or scientific oriented mind, but I think they have got a place somewhere else also. Same way, I think every youngster who wants a challenge in life, who wants to face something which is unbelievably different, and you want to face it squarely and enjoy it, that is a challenge. I think I would recommend they must join, because a challenge of what the defense forces offer, no other career can offer anyway.
I want to tell you, sir, that even though there's a big generation gap, there are still many students all over India who really want to join the army and the military because of the pride and the honor it carries.
Yes.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Anirudh, do you have any more question?
Yes, ma'am. If you allow, I want to ask one more question. Sir, I want to ask, at your lowest moments, in your harshest conditions, what was that beacon of hope? Or what was, like, simply put, what was that happy place that you would keep in the back of your mind Like for most people, it would be their childhood home or a vacation spot. So what was that place you would go to that would make you feel secure at your harshest of conditions?
I think in my life, I've changed places every 2 years. I had no anchor. In fact, I really feel we have no anchor, no base, no place, as we can say, to fall back on. Even my own village belong to a place where you have a home, you have land, you have some your kith and kin. That is where you would like to go and visit. I think I've traveled length and breadth of India. I spent 16 years across Brahmaputra of my life. Now, there is no particular place or few places I can name which I would like to. In fact, I feel I must go and visit base camp. I would like to visit Nimu. I would like to visit Nagaland. I think that is the way. I think our approach and attitude has become very different. There is nothing like childhood memories.
I think Anirudh was also asking, in your most tense moments, in your harshest moments, what is it that gave you that sense of quiet or
now I think
feeling better, hopeful?
When I used to fly in the helicopter in the morning, I used to start in the morning about 6:30 in the morning, or a cup of coffee and off onto the glacier. I never had oxygen to breathe. Used to fly 18,000, 20,000, land on the glacier, spend the day. I learned, let me collect myself there is no other thought while flying. Pilots used to think, oh my God, the old man is, I think, conked off. He has closed his eyes. I said, listen, I'm meditating. I'm just relaxing. I want to be fresh when I land at 20,000. So don't disturb me.
Yeah.
I think it is a question of inner strength. How one derives that inner strength, which is the maximum strength that you can ever have. Nothing else can give you that.
Absolutely.
I think I decided I'm going to be fit. I'm going to be tough. I'm not going to have a time for acclimatization. I would go to Udhampur, come back next day and onto the glacier. Went to Bombay for a few days leave, came back, next day went back to the glacier. Doctor said, well, how are you managing it? Don't do it. It's bad for your health. I said, listen, I'm fighting a battle. I can't waste time. I can't have time at all for acclimatization and then going to meet the troops. So I think I derived essentially from my inner strength. I was told I was not too strong or hefty and hulky person, but I think internally, emotionally, I am very strong.
So hats off to you. Amazing. Such a big lesson for everybody. How you were traveling without oxygen to such high feet. It's all inner strength, as rightly said. Inspiration for us.
Thank you, sir.
You have one more question, right? Before we move on? Yes.
This question is directed to Anjali, ma'am.
Okay.
I want to ask you, how did your emotions resonate, knowing the struggles your father had to endure at that time, and also knowing that there wasn't really much you could physically do to help him except give him the support that he needed?
I think, I know, this has been spoken about, Anirudh, a little here,
In your book, yes.
but I think that army children, they do grow up different.
Yeah.
You watch your father at different times in his life cope with different kinds of things. So I remember my mother used to always say that, when we came to Bombay, and she said, she would hear somebody say, I'm so tense, I'm going to miss my train. I'm so stressed because I haven't been able to get here or there on time. And she would say, they don't know what is stress and they don't know what is tension. Because when we grew up, there were very, very real times when we knew that my father's life was in danger. But I think you grow up with the same kind of strength that he talks about. You grow with that, knowing very subconsciously that you are going to be okay, that this is his life, this is what he has signed up for. And I don't even remember making this a very big deal as we were growing up. It was somewhere part of the DNA of just being an army brat, as they say. You took in stride these strange postings, which took us all over the place, which made us change schools every now and then, and which brought in upheavals in our parents' lives, in my father's tenures. So I think, when I look back, I don't ever remember feeling somehow very different from other children growing up. It's only when I'm in the outside that I realize that I had a pretty different growing up stretch than, let's say, my husband, or for that matter, so many people who I meet who have not been part of the army circuit.
Thank you, ma'am. I somewhat understand that the beginning part, that after such a traumatic experience, every small problem or normal problem others go through, it just seems small in comparison.
Yeah, very insignificant. Yeah,
yes.
right. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, Anirudh. And thank you for great questions. Wish you luck for all your endeavors. And now we have one question from Mr. Vijay Shankar. He's an advocate. He's also interested in history.